5 days prior, the Storm Prediction Center had their eyes on an area of severe weather from northeast Texas into lower Michigan. That area would eventually be refined as the days drew near. The SPC would eventually shift the majority of their attention to northern lower Michigan, where the environment appeared highly supportive of supercells capable of producing tornadoes. Later in the day on Friday, May 20th, a severe thunderstorm watch was issued for a good chunk of northern Michigan, where severe thunderstorms capable of producing very large hail, damaging winds, and a tornado or two appeared possible. It's hard to believe, though, what this day would really bring. At 3 p.m., a severe thunderstorm would approach the Grand Traverse Bay, making its way onshore. At this point, it looked like your typical spring thunderstorm, bringing some gusty winds, heavy rain, and very frequent lightning activity. Given the conditions in place, however, this storm would quickly grow into a strong supercell with a very tight hook echo located just north of Mansalona, Michigan, with Gaylord in its crosshairs. This beast of a storm quickly developed strong rotation, and a tornado warning was issued for downtown Gaylord. At this point, it looked like the city was in for the worst. Before the clock struck 4 p.m. on Friday, May 20th, Gaylord had already taken a direct hit from a powerful and extremely dangerous EF-3 tornado. The tornado had eventually lifted about 1 mile northeast of Sparr, Michigan, but rotation was still apparent, and by the time it got to Presque Isle, Michigan, baseball-sized hail became a concern. In this documentary, I'm going to be showing you what the aftermath of this strong tornado looked like from our perspective, not only in downtown Gaylord, but also the rural areas as well. A lot of the destruction up here is something that we had to see with our own eyes to comprehend. We're about to get into some stuff here. Look at that. Look at how those trailers are just completely flipped on top of each other. Massive pile of destruction. Alright, so the tornado passed off to the left of this road here, and it crossed over to the right. Look at this. There's a Little Caesars over here in Gaylord that had some damage done to it. The Goodwill is almost completely destroyed on one side. It crossed from the other side of the road over here and did significant damage to this side of the town. Here's an oil change place right here, completely destroyed. This all cut over from this direction. This is a Hobby Lobby over here. This side was also hit pretty hard. Jimmy John's side of the building. Thank God this looks like this didn't get hit. There's a car wash up here that also had some damage done to it. The tornado actually touched down about 6 miles south of Elmira and then continued to track east-northeastward, making its way through Gaylord. This is kind of right where the damage got really, really bad inside of the town here. There's the Hobby Lobby. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that. Bad damage done up there. Lot of insane footage was taken right over here. That car wash has some roof damage done to it, but pretty minor overall. And then significant damage just behind it. Culver's here also had some damage done to it. Look at the sign over here too. I'm not sure if it was already ripped off or not, but certainly could have got hit by the tornado as well. At this point, our journey had just begun, but the amount of damage that we saw just by early afternoon was incredible. So we're headed southbound from Otsego Memorial Hospital, and if I remember correctly, this is where the tornado reached EF-3 intensity. Now we're kind of right in the middle of downtown Gaylord, and Thank God a lot of this area got missed, but just up the road here, looking off to my north, got hit really, really hard. Fortunately, a lot of the downtown area is still intact. It's pretty unbelievable how close all these buildings got to being hit. This new hotel up over there was just fine, but immediately behind it, there's a lot of destruction back here. It's probably hard to tell, but where we just were right in my mirror is directly where the tornado crossed the road. Alright, so we're about to enter the area where the tornado crossed Hayes Tower Road. Is an EF-1 tornado. There are lots of crews out here trying to clear trees. Yesterday there was multiple trees that were down. You guys will see that towards the end of the video. Look at all this. Hayes Tower Road is not far from our property line, and it was very clear to see the amount of destruction that was done here as far as tree damage goes. The path of the tornado was obvious here off to my right. Big swath of damage up here. This is probably 6 miles south of Elmira, which is where they said that this thing touched down. And it lifted 1 mile northeast of Sparr, so it was on the ground for nearly 17 miles. I can't confirm that this is exactly where it touched down, where I just pointed the camera, but certainly close to it. It was doing EF0 to EF1 damage at this point. Look at all that damage down there. After scanning through Hayes Tower Road and surrounding areas, we then made it back to the residential areas in Gaylord, where the National Weather Service had gave this area a preliminary EF-3 rating, with winds as high as 150 miles per hour. This caused severe damage to structures and homes in the surrounding area, and it was hard to swallow the amount of damage that we were seeing. Many people's lives were turned upside down by this tornado. This is some of the raw footage that we saw. To see anything like this up here in northern Michigan is remarkably rare. The National Weather Service gave this tornado an EF-3 rating with maximum winds of 150 miles per hour. It was also on the ground for nearly 17 miles and was 2 football fields wide. This is where we were driving early in the afternoon, and it was directly in the EF-3 damage path. I happen to have many close family members that live up here in the Gaylord area, and it was very, very frightening to look at the radar images that were being shown between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock on the afternoon of May 20th. Thank God everybody that I'm aware of is okay, but others weren't as lucky. 2 people lost their lives and over 40 were injured. My thoughts and prayers go out to everybody that was affected by this disaster in northern Michigan. Thanks to the many amazing people that live here, however, along with many awesome volunteers from across the country, this town is already beginning its recovery efforts, and as can be seen by the picture here, the sun still shines in Gaylord, Michigan.